The Epstein Files, and why you are never going to see the full unredacted version of them. You may not like the answer, but hopefully you're going to understand it a little bit better by the time I'm done. So the answer is very simple. It's public relations. We can't just start throwing out names of leaders and powerful people of other countries and just think everything's going to be okay. That's just not the way the world works. I'm sorry, you might want it to, but it's not. Now you might say, hey, what about, Prince Andrew? They're like, hey, they named him. Well, he wasn't, going to be the next leader of England, or he was not the king at the time. But that's why you didn't really hear Prince Charles's name, because, or old King Charles now. Epstein knew what we all knew. That I'm not saying, King Charles had anything to do with it. Don't get me wrong there. I'm just using this as an example. Now, Epstein knew what we all knew. The Queen wasn't going to live forever. She was, old forever. Let's be honest. And, who's the next in line? You don't think he wasn't trying to get next to, the next powerful person of England. Of course he would. Now, I'm not saying he was, or he wasn't. I'm just saying, you didn't hear his name, because it wouldn't look good for us, bottom line. We don't want to start World War III just because you want to know everything in the Epstein Files. Sorry, we can't just start throwing out names of, other leaders and stuff and say, hey, maybe we'll live, but hey, at least now, Julian Dory, at least right? Now, but well, hopefully you got a bomb shelter. I don't know what to tell you. It's really that simple, I believe. And it's, we can't risk that. I hope that explains it a little bit better, but it is what it is.